Hey friends, welcome to another episode. I'm so glad that you are here. So today's episode, my friends, we are talking about how meal prep can actually help you lose weight. Now, if you struggled with cooking, if you struggled with knowing what to eat, if you struggled with recipes, or you think that you've just got to eat bland, boring chicken and broccoli every day, then my friend, you are in the right place because this episode is going to tell you exactly what you need to do and how beneficial meal prep is for you, especially if your goal is trying to lose weight. Now, my friends, don't forget to grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your water, or if you're in the car, make sure you are listening to this on 2 point speed so you can take it in as much as you can and enjoy today's episode. Hey friends, welcome to VA Nutrition Coaching, the podcast. You are tuned in for another weekly episode, and I am your host, Verona, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm here to give you mindset focused nutrition, weight loss advice that you can keep off for the long term. It's not about restrictive diets here. It's not about cutting out carbohydrates. It's definitely not about cutting out your favorite foods in order to lose weight that, quite frankly, as soon as we've lost it, we end up regaining it and a little bit more. No, friends, I'm here to give you real talk, no nonsense weight loss that you can actually achieve realistically and keep it off. I'm a faith-based woman, also keeping it real when it comes to weight loss and keeping it real when it comes to nutrition, helping you do things that you can actually sustain for a long term. Now, friends, let's get into today's episode. So when it comes to meal prep, that's one of the biggest things that my clients have talked about is they struggle with what to eat. Now, when it comes to exercise, they're all right with doing exercise, or they either hate exercise altogether, but they want to know how they can lose weight without doing exercise altogether. Now, once you start to learn to love the right type of exercise, I tell you, your mindset might actually change, because exercise and movement in the body is what our bodies are created and designed for. As much as we love snuggling up with a blanket and our snacks, our bodies are literally created to move. And the more we move, the better it is for our body, not just in terms of physically, but also beneficially for our health, our bones, and all of those good things there. Have you ever been sitting down for a number of hours and you get up and then you're creaking like a floorboard? That's exactly why your bodies need to move regularly. Now, obviously, the pandemic, we've been sitting and we've been working at home. And that, my friends, is how I gained some fat, especially as I was struggling emotionally when it came to my rotator cuff injury. It knocked my confidence a lot. And for me, that's always been a pattern of habit, a habit where I've turned to food, and intentionally I turned to food this time. I intentionally turned to food to drown my sorrows in a tub of ice cream. I was just eating everything and anything. There was no meal prep at all for me at this particular time. It wasn't until I came away from that and known I need to come away from that. So just because I'm a personal trainer, just because I'm a nutrition coach, it doesn't mean that I don't have these struggles too, which is why I'm obviously helping you to overcome those struggles. So my friend, I've been there, and I just want to let you know that it can be hard. But if you're tuned into this episode and you know women that are struggling in this, send this to them so they can be encouraged. Meal prep is challenging. Weight loss is challenging. But when you sign up to programs like Focus on the Fat Loss, you will get your personalized and your customized roadmap and nutrition plan that helps you, one, learn how to meal prep, and two, navigate the fat loss according to your body without looking at Sally and thinking you want Sally's results. We get you honed in, we get you specifically focused on the results for you, and ain't nobody else going to get the results just like you can. Okay, so meal prep, what we're talking about is how meal prep can be effective to lose weight. So we're going to go straight into tip one. Now, meal prepping is fantastic. I call it the secret sauce to weight loss. If you're trying to lose weight, one of the things that you are going to implement in your weight loss journey is the effect of meal prep. Where people fall is they think and they believe that meal prep is chicken and broccoli for 7 days a week. Can I tell you, well, I love chicken, but I don't like broccoli. And I don't like broccoli for that reason, because there's such a message, a misinformed message out there on social media, on blog posts that you might have read, on YouTube, wherever it is that you get this information from. There is a misinformation that in order for you to have successful meal prep, you have to eat the same meal every day. That's boring for me as a coach. It's going to be boring for you as a mom or a businesswoman or wherever place that you find yourself in. It's boring to eat the same foods every single day. And it's no wonder we go back to the foods that we've craved, the foods that we love, the foods that taste nice to us. Bland chicken and broccoli or soggy salad that's gone soggy after 2 or 3 days is not nice, is not appealing. I wouldn't eat it. I struggle with it, and I have struggled with it, but now I'm teaching you how to overcome that. And speaking of overcoming it, I am so excited to announce to you my book is here. The title is a bit of a long title, but the title is here, so you can grab this on Amazon. And as you can hear, I'm on the UK, but I'm so blessed to be able to get this book into stores literally all over the world. As soon as it's been approved, I'll let you know. If you're in the community, face VA Nutrition Coaching, the podcast over on on Facebook or you follow me on Instagram, VA Nutrition Coaching Podcast, then I will let you know when it's available in the stores. And the stores that it is coming out in, I'm excited, is Amazon. So worldwide, it's on Amazon, Book Depository, which is over here in the UK, Waterstones, Barnes and Noble, and Target. And that is a godsend for me. And the title of the book is called How You Can Make Fast, Easy, Healthy Meal Prep Recipes and Save Time. Eat food you actually enjoy. And in the book, what I'm doing is I'm teaching you effectively how to meal prep. Now, the personalized roadmap that we do is literally teaching you how to navigate your nutrition. So the book, think of it like that. If you've ever done a road mapping session with me before, you know how in depth that we go. So this is exactly like that in a book form, and it's hardcover. So when you see the price, take into consideration the recipes and the fact that it's hardcover. Now, the reason why I created the cookbook is to encourage women like you who are struggling with meal prep. Now, we're going to get into the episode, don't worry. But the cookbook is packed with quick and healthy recipes that you can prepare in minutes, not hours. Listen, when you've got 2 children, when you've got 3 children, you've got 4 children or more, nobody has time to stand in the kitchen for 4 hours and people are screaming in your ear saying, I don't want that. I don't want broccoli. I don't like broccoli. I don't like it. And then you end up sending the kids to bed without any dinner because they refuse to eat, and the cycle keeps happening every single night. You ain't got time for it. I'm not even a parent. I don't even have time to cook for 4 hours. It's long, and I've got much better things that you know how many podcast episodes that I could record for you guys in 4 hours. I absolutely would prefer to be doing something much better with my time than spending in the kitchen for 4 hours. I love cooking, I meal prep, but I make sure that it's not 4 hours. And this is what I'm talking about in the cookbook, because I don't want to keep anybody in the kitchen longer than they need to be. I teach you simply. There's a grocery list in there and teaching you, in fact, on how to shop, teaches you what categories to shop in and understand how to create your nutrition. And it's a book you can forget about dieting, put dieting out the window, and you can start eating healthy as soon as you get the book. As soon as you get home, you know exactly what you need to do. I've also created a meal plan, so there's all sorts of things that you can get in the book that you can actually just literally, it's almost like you've got me in the kitchen with you. So how exactly can meal prep help you lose weight? So when it comes to losing weight, one of the things that you need to do is make sure that you are eating healthily. Now, healthy can be different for different people. So your definition of healthy might be a little bit different to my definition of healthy, and your definition of healthy might be a little bit different to Sally's. But in order for you to lose weight, one of the key things is your nutrition. And many people seem to think that exercise is the way that people are going to lose weight faster. We'll do a whole completely new episode on that. But today we're focusing on meal prep specifically, and how meal prep can actually help you lose weight. So when it comes to meal prep is one of the biggest things that I'm going to promote. I'm going to promote, if you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to build a healthy, sustainable relationship with food, cue meal prepping and cue the book, which is why I've created the 2 tools. So meal prepping, when it comes to it, is a fantastic way to help you find the meals that are going to help you in terms of weight loss, not just losing the weight, but fat loss. Because many of you, if you are women, one of the biggest things that women have talked to me about in struggles, especially when you come to work with me, is I don't like my belly. Now, we can't unfortunately decide where we want to lose our fat from, but what we can do is definitely focus on nutrition and exercise, like I do in Focus on the Fat Loss and Coaching, and help you through your nutrition get the goals that you're trying to get. Imagine if there was no doubt in your mind any longer that you could actually lose weight, since fad diets that you've tried have given you a full sense of hope for weight loss. Imagine if you could be unstuck from all of that all or nothing mentality and feel like you need to give up. Imagine if you learned to actually love the reflection that you saw back looking in the mirror, rather than calling yourself a marshmallow, fat, mum pooch, and all of these negative names. Imagine if you could be able to do that. Well, my friends, that's exactly why I created Focus on the Fat Loss. If you're tired of wasting money on fad diets, quick fixes, and unsustainable results, and being made to eat broccoli, chicken, and rice every day, and they tell you need to cut out carbs after 6 p.m. So when it turns to 6:01 p.m., you're now afraid to eat a morsel of bread or carbs because you're worried that this is going to cause you to gain fat. If you need an approach to fat loss that works and fits into your lifestyle, and you want to heal your self-sabotage relationship with food, Focus on the Fat Loss is a 4-week nutrition and mindset focused group coaching program where you will have access to recipes, educational videos, live Q&As, and access to meet your girl. Well, I'm also including the workout library. Friends, if this is you, then head on over to the website vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/focus to sign up to join us. Now, let's get back into today's episode. So when it comes to this, one of the key things that I talk about in the book, one of the key things that I talk about in coaching is I'm helping you and equipping you to make these meals fit into your life rather than feeling like you have got to cram in all of your time in the day just for you to make sure you've hit your diet and you've hit your calories, you've hit your macros for the day. Though I talk about macros, though I teach macros, I don't focus on restrictive macronutrients. If you've eaten more calories throughout the day because, hey, life has happened, I am not going to teach you, oh, you know what? Don't eat anything else. Wait until your calories in the morning. You're going to be starving in the morning. Eat the food, enjoy the food. You're not going to gain fat in 24 hours. So once you have these mindsets, it's about stepping into your nutrition goal, your mindset with this understanding that actually I'm not going to gain weight in 24 hours. So, but when it comes to meal prep can actually make it easier for you to put a plan together. So when it comes to it, this is why I've put in there a meal plan, and what I've done, a meal plan template. So I've given you a blank meal plan template, and you can scan that, you can copy that as many times as you need to. You can blow it up onto A3, you can stick it on the fridge, the children can get involved as well. You can do so many different things with this meal planning template because it's yours. Make it yours, customize it, personalize it to you and the foods that you like. So there's a shopping list and there is a sample plan of what a meal plan could look like if your goal is to lose weight. And I've specifically put it like this in the book to actually help you understand what meal prep is. Meal prep isn't just about preparing meals. Meal prep is more than preparing the same meals every single day. Yes, that's going to save time for some. Yes, that's going to be convenient for some, but most don't like having the same meal every single day. By about day 2, you're ready to go. You're ready to throw this in the towel and you're now craving McDonald's. You want a big, juicy, fat burger. Now, if your meal plan doesn't allow for that, you might feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do that because I'm going to cheat on my diet. Especially if you're somebody who has been dieting for a number of years, over 10 years, or for most of your life. The diet industry or the diet beliefs are then ingrained very deeply in your mindset that you believe if you deviate from your meal plan, that means that you are going to gain fat overnight. And then what happens is you give up altogether and then you just go completely left and then you just start to eat all of the things. But what we're trying to do here is get you away from that. Now, the book can certainly help you start to get on that journey, and there are other aspects that you can also work with as well. So meal prep has been around for years. Meal prepping is not something new. It's not a new concept. It's something that's been there for years. But when it comes to weight loss, the reason why it's helping you lose weight is because you are focusing on your nutrition and you're not focusing on exercise being the main course. You see what I did there? Being the main course of your weight loss. So think of it a little bit like a dinner. Have you ever been to a posh restaurant? I went to one recently, a couple weekends ago. I went to one with my friend. It was her 35th birthday, and we went to this very, very posh restaurant. And I mean the posh restaurant where they have however many knives and forks. So they've got 3. In this restaurant, they only had 2. Now you've got the outside working in. That's how I learned to understand those knife and forks. So you've got the outside working in, which is for the starter, starter knife and forks. Then you've got your main knife and forks, and some also have another set of knife and forks. But I always learned the key skill. The key tip was to work your outside in, and that's how you can do it for each course. So it's a little bit like that. The book is a lot like that. So we're starting off with your starter. Your starter would be your meal prep. And even before your meal plan, even before setting your meal plan, even before you step into the supermarket, just like they say, don't go into the supermarket hungry. Go into your meal plan understanding what it is that you want to get out of meal planning. So you've got to partner up with your goals and your desires. So when you're starting to do that and starting to cook some of the family friendly recipes, you are then starting to focus on nutrition first, not exercise, but you're focusing on nutrition. So exercise, if people are exercising is a little bit like the dessert. Most of us wouldn't have dessert first. We'd start off with the starter, right? Especially if we're hungry, we're gonna get all 3 courses. So many of us don't order dessert first before we order the main meal. And I mean, if you do, like, oh gosh, maybe we need to have a conversation. But most of us will order a starter first because we're whetting our appetite. We're just getting started. We're preparing for the main course, the main event. And the main event for you is finally getting to your goal weight, if you have one, finally getting to the place where you have a healthy foundation with food. And that's going to take time. It's going to take a period of time. It's going to take renewing your mind constantly. It's going to take you intentionally focusing on changing your mindset, changing the way you think, which is why I put these things in place together. So you've got different tools to be able to help you get to the end goal. So when we started and we got there, it's now we're working our way down to the main course. And when the main course hits now, oh man, the main course is like, yes, I could do this and I could come back again. And so the bulk of the book now is going through the recipes. So the recipes is teaching you, and you bring your children on, your children can do it as well. These are family friendly recipes, and they're also designed for you to start to swap ingredients, for you to start honing in and actually owning your nutrition, because so many times we get caught up in diets, and diets tell us you can't eat this, you can't eat that, you can't do this. Oh my gosh, don't do that. If you do this, you are bad. Don't eat these bad foods because you're going to be bad on your diet. All of that nonsense needs to stop. And I'm going to call it out for what it is: nonsense. It's straight nonsense that we believe for so many years. And that stops us from actually getting the results that we want, because we think that we've got to go through a whole list of restrictions just in order for us to enjoy. Instead, think of your weight loss, think of your meal prep like a 3-course meal. If you've got a 5-course meal, even better. But that's why I've created this book, to take you step by step through getting healthy meal prep. And the course is also, there is a meal prep course that goes with it. I created the course first before the book, but there's also these things that you can do in order for you to lose weight and focus, not just to lose weight. The key thing that I always talk about in the podcast and with my clients is teaching you. If there's one thing you can ever learn from this podcast, is it's about maintaining it. So if you're starting to do this as a habit, then you can build on that and you can better it. And a top up is the dessert. The dessert finishes off everything nicely. It seals it. It's literally like the icing on the cake. And that's when you start to see the number go down, or you don't see the number go down on the scale. You start to feel healthier, and your children that have been struggling to eat healthy, they're always complaining. It's stressing you out that you don't show your children they're not eating healthy at all, and it's just wearing you down. Your husband's not quite supportive of you, or he doesn't need to lose weight, or he loses weight in like 5 minutes and you're getting frustrated with him. It's a lot for you, and it's beginning to weigh you down. That the kids, if they don't get what they want, they start to throw a tantrum, and it's just too much for you. It's just easier to give in to them, because you don't want to be seen as public enemy number one to your children. You want to be able to give to your children in every way that you can. And I want to encourage you, if that is you, I want to encourage you, that mindset needs to be worked on, because that is a self-sabotage mindset. I just want to give my children the best. I want to be a good mom. I'm going to tell you, even without seeing your parenting, if you've raised one child through birth or you've adopted a child, I'm telling you, as I'm not a mother just yet, hear me and hear me good here, that you are a good mother. If you've raised those children effectively to where they are, and now you've been able to care for them, you've been able to feed them, you've been able to clothe them, if you have done all of that and you've been able to teach them about right or wrong, you've been able to teach them about Christ, you've been able to teach them and shape them into the little young children that they are now, that they've got good manners, you are a good mum. If you care for them, if you challenge them when they've got to be challenged, if you're bold in setting boundaries, you are a good parent. Now, no parent has it all together. No adult has it all together. No adult or child has it all figured out. You might have children who actually don't like the taste of food, but you might not be aware of that. You might see that the fact that they're saying, no, I don't want that, as combative, and you're like, no, you are going to eat this. That might be another area for you. And if that's the case, explore different textures, and with food, loads of different things that you can do when it comes to children that suffer with that. I'm an adult, and there's certain type of textures of food that I don't like. One of them is mashed potato, or potato on its own, like jacket potatoes. I'm very funny about that. And it's just the taste and it's the taste and the consistency. Give me a plate of chips, I'll eat the whole box of chips. So it's different things for different people. But when it comes to children and you feel like, you know what, I just want them to be okay, I feel like a bad parent if I'd say no. No, that's a mindset that needs to work on. You need to work on that, and that will take time. That will take time for you to work on and get the support that you need as a parent, to actually know that saying no to your child is also helping you, but it's also helping them in terms of protecting their health and making sure that they're getting the right nutrients that they need from a balance of foods, not just one type. And that goes for us as adults as well. Now, when it comes to losing weight, how meal prep can help you lose weight, again, we've just talked about food and we've just talked about healthy nutrition. It is exactly that. It is focusing on nutrition and ingredients that are actually going to help you. Now, there is no one food that's going to help you lose weight. So I'm not going to say to you, go to the pantry and see if you've got ABC in your pantry, Or if you haven't, go to the supermarket and then buy ABCD. These will help you lose weight. That's not what I talk about. That's not what I preach. That's not the coach that I am. So I'm not going to tell you there is one type of food that's going to lose weight. However, if you are trying to focus on foods, you can focus on a certain type of foods, carbs, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, fruits, and vegetables. You can focus on trying to get a mixture and a variety of those foods into your diet on a day-to-day basis. Now, when I say diet, I mean the way that you eat on a day-to-day basis. That's what I'm talking about here. And when it comes to eating healthy, a lot of us seem to think that we've just got to throw away all the fizzy drink that we like, throw away the six-pack can of beer, throw away this. So what you've done, you've literally just cleared your whole house out of food and you have nothing left in the cupboards. And then start to go and graze. Like if you've got a farm and you've got the cattle or the grazing, chewing on grass, guess what the diet culture has told us that we have to eat like. If you need to be healthy, then you just need to go to the supermarket, buy like a million bags of salad and eat that with no sauce. Like if you've got Caesar salad, you can't have the croutons, you can't have the Caesar sauce. All you've just got is the chicken, a little bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper, and the chicken. Remember, the chicken is bland, it's not seasoned, it's dry. I'm telling you, that's not how you lose weight. That's not healthy. That's restrictive thinking and that's just restrictive eating. Now, this isn't to criticize or to come against you if you're in that place now. The reason why you're listening to the podcast is because you want to get help to come away from that. One, that's what the book is created for, to help you do that. And two, the nutrition roadmap is also there to help you encompass the foods that you love and also find a way how to do the two. Three, remember all of these weight loss processes are literally like the three course meal and you end on the high note, which is the dessert. It's about focusing on the fat loss. So when you're focused on the fat loss rather than unsustainable results, you have got a game plan that will help you rather than hinder you. Now, when it comes to choosing healthy ingredients, these are all outlined in the book. But when you're trying to lose weight, if your goal is to lose weight through meal prep, one of the things is you're focusing on key healthy ingredients that also help keep you fuller for longer and satiated. So that doesn't mean that you have to buy organic produce, which is another misconception, that we need to buy organic in order for us to lose weight. Many of us cannot always afford the high cost of organic food. Even I don't always buy organic food. Frozen food, do not be afraid of frozen veg. Frozen veg is amazing. It's still vegetables. It doesn't mean that it's going to lose its quality. It doesn't mean it's going to be less healthy than fresh veg. If you're not intended to cook the fresh veg that night or in a couple of days, don't buy the fresh veg because it can sometimes just get forgotten about and sit at the back. And then when you go back into the fridge and you finally remember it's there, it's got a whole load of water at the bottom and it's going green, greener than it actually already is, and it's growing things on it. If you're not planning to use that immediately and you can do it with frozen veg, by all means do it with frozen veg, season it up, and then making your veg taste nice so the kids can also enjoy it too. Now, the last thing when it comes to meal prep and losing weight is not giving up. It's going to be hard for you, and it's going to be hard if you're somebody who's been used to being given up. If it's not working, you're like, you know what, it's not working for me, I give up. I used to be the same. I actually used to be the same because it gets so discouraging to the point where you try, and everything you're trying, it just seems like a door is slamming in your face every single time. And it can feel like, what's the point in doing it? You know what? I might as well just go to Wendy's. She's calling my name. I might as well go to Chick-fil-A. I might as well go to all of these places where I at least know that I am going to feel satisfied if I eat this food. When I eat that, the satisfying crunch or the juices of the burger or whatever it is that you're eating, at least I know that I'm going to be loved when I eat this food. I also want to tell you that's a lie from diet culture. It's a lie from the enemy and it's a lie from diet culture. When we start to personify food and we turn to food to fill our voids, that's an unhealthy attachment and relationship with food that we've built up over the time that has to slowly be broken down. And it's the same when you're trying to build healthy habits. Listen, if you're eating fast food 3 times a day, every single day, and you expect to eat healthy in 24 hours, that's an unrealistic expectation. And what you're going to do, you're going to get started. Then when it gets too hard for you, you're going to give up and you're just going to keep riding that same struggle bus every single time. And you never really go past a certain point. So if you're in that position and you're struggling and you want a conversation, message me and we can have a conversation. We can see which is right for you. Whether focus on the fat loss is right for you, the 6 months coaching is right for you, or your road mapping session. But when it comes to eating healthy, it can be a struggle, which is why when it comes to losing weight, meal prep is a key staple because you've got a plan in place and you're also making that plan come to life by, right, what can I eat? I've got a busy day today, right? I've already done breakfast, I've already done my lunch, dinner, we're going to have a takeaway. There are so many different things that you can do on that. Keto might say, no, you can't have carbs, you can't have a banana. I'm not for keto, so eat the banana, eat the strawberries. Another diet might say, no, you can't have that because. And then another diet might say, no, you can't have this you can't have this food and that food combined together because this happens and that happens. But meanwhile, you have those two foods together and nothing happens in your body. Therefore, what happens is people are scaremongering and they're taking one piece of information and putting it together, but they're not backing it up with scientific evidence or scientific research that actually shows that this is actually a thing, where the body starts to reject the food because you've combined it with carbohydrates and proteins together. Now, I don't know where that teaching kind of comes from, but if you're somebody who starts to feel afraid of food, then there's something wrong with the information that you're taking in. And it can be so easy to be discouraged, and it can be so easy to stray away from the things that haven't worked, and then we try to focus on something else. Instead of focusing on trying to find the next thing, focus on what hasn't worked and how to change it. There are so many things that you can do to change it, so many things that you can do to focus on, to work on, but take one thing at a time and focus there. Because when we try to do all things, we try to be all things to all men and try to do all things at once, we end up doing nothing. So instead of that, focus on one thing that you can do. And if that means you've been afraid of carbohydrates for a few years and you're fearful of carbohydrates, incorporate a fruit or a vegetable that you can have one or more of throughout the day. For example, set yourself up with some berries, some yogurt, and a drizzle of honey or some maple syrup if you want, and then you start to eat that. That slowly and slowly you're incorporating more vegetables and fruit into your diet. Start off slowly, and that will give you a bigger reward once you get there. Remembering the 3-course meal. The goal is to get to the dessert, and that's the creme de la creme. It's the same when it comes to meal prep. It's the same when it comes to weight loss. Friend, you made it to the end of the episode. What was your biggest takeaway from today's episode? Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review over on iTunes. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about today's episode, or you need help, then you can contact me over on Instagram at VA Nutrition Coaching Podcast, or email me support@vanutritioncoaching.co.uk, or you can head over to the Facebook page VA Nutrition Coaching Podcast. It helps us reach even more women who are fed up of dieting, don't know how to lose weight, they're frustrated with following Sally's results and they're not getting any of their own, and they just finally want to shed some pounds and do it in a way that they can sustain and they can enjoy. But my friends, that's a wrap for today's episode. I can't wait to catch you on the next one. Until then, friends, stay healthy, stay blessed, and remember, if you haven't already downloaded your 5-ingredient recipe pack, you can go to the website vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/recipes and download your 5-ingredient recipe pack. Who said healthy eating was boring? See you next time, friend.